What's going on, everybody?
Hey, everyone.
Happy Thursday? Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, made it almost through another week. So tonight we got a great guest on, the writer of a comic series that we've accidentally summoned into our chat a couple times. This comic is Becstar, and it's being published by Mad Cave Studios. And we got a fourth issue of Becstar coming out soon on August 25th.
Yes.
And look at that. We summoned him into the chat again. So everyone, please welcome Joe Corallo.
Welcome.
Hello.
A whole round of
It's like
applause.
we just summoned you out of nowhere.
It just happened.
True.
And
how did that happen? I gotta ask.
I think I was subbed to the channel already. And I just happened, every once in a while you're like, you open YouTube and you'll see like live, it tells you all the subjects, and I'm like, oh, all right.
See what's happening.
It's so weird because you are not the first person that we have accidentally just summoned into the chat.
Oh yeah.
And it just throws us off every time. We're like, wait, what?
You're just like, I'm here, and it's like, what? Oh god, hello.
Hi.
We like your book.
I do that a lot to Robbie at Pop Culture Philosophers. I've been on there a few times. We're going to be reviewing the Azzarello Chang Wonder Woman run at the end of the month. So that'll be fun. And then I'm apparently curating some movies for them to do a poll of, or for one of the horror movies that they're going to be doing. So I think I'm going to throw a lot of weird ones in the mix, like Halloween 6, Child's Play 3, like really good. some of the more offbeat ones.
Absolutely. Gotta keep them on their toes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome.
I support this.
Thank you.
So just to, I guess, introduce yourself to everyone in the chat if they haven't heard about you from your comics before, let everyone know how you got into comics, and then how you got into writing comics and editing and that side of things.
Sure. I always liked writing and things like that. I had done what was it? We did talk about horror, and I guess I'm a pretty big fan, but I don't know. You're on the internet enough, and you see enough people, and you realize you're not a big enough fan of anything. Because
that's true. There's always someone a little bit more than you.
As Qui-Gon once said, "There's always a bigger fish." So a little Phantom Menace. Quote there, but yeah, I always liked fan fiction, things like that when I was younger, like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. I had a friend we'd come up with like Sonic the Hedgehog and Mega Man themed sort of fan fiction. I got into comics through Sonic the Hedgehog, through Sonic the Hedgehog issue 28 that I got at when I was with my mom at a Kmart.
So tangent, how did you feel about the Sonic movie?
I enjoyed
pre and post redesign.
I loved it. I thought it was it's like nothing like Sonic at all, but I enjoyed that because for someone to put so much thought and energy into a Sonic movie and then have them like in a road trip for the vast majority of it was such a you just can't even believe it, and you're just like, all right, let's see where this goes, because none of these are logical choices. And,
the fact that they spent so much time and energy redesigning the entire movie based on feedback from that original trailer,
harassment and attacks, which they deserved.
Fix it.
Yeah, it was nice to see them fix it. I'm sure there were plenty of people that were meaner than they should have been, but boy, did that movie look a lot better with a Sonic that didn't look like some kind of
like an actual hedgehog from your demon nightmares.
Yeah, it looked like something from like oh god, like just the worst, like some sort of body horror nightmare.
It looks like one of those like animatronics gone wrong.
Yeah, like you could have seen that strangling a kid at a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, absolutely, and no one would question it.
No one.
That's got to inspire some new fan fictions there.
Absolutely, it would. But yeah, it was Sonic the Hedgehog issue 28, and I liked it. It was like based on the all that stuff was more based on like the more serious, like dark, gritty Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon that was going on. I don't know why they did a dark, gritty, like dystopian future Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon.
I mean, everything needs a dystopian version of darkness. Clearly.
But that was like well before, Zack Snyder and all of that happened. Like, so I imagine Zack Snyder watched that cartoon and was like,
subconsciously influenced as a small child.
They're onto something.
Yeah.
Let's take this colorful game, Sonic's bouncing around like a casino, and make it a dark dystopian nightmare where his uncle's been turned into a robot monster, and let's do that. And then they had the really goofy cartoon that was also airing at like the same time.
Yeah.
And they were both voiced by Janelle White.
So that's not confusing at all.
Yeah, so it was the same Sonic, but slightly different, and it's the same voice. Like, what? That was weird. And yet, that didn't stop me from getting those comics. And if you really want a treat, find a copy of Sonic Live. It's terrifying. It's a one-shot, like annual kind of thing they did. It was like 48 pages, Sonic Live, and it's like Sonic meets like actual kids and like pulls them out of the TV into the TV.
Oh, no.
It is.
Got the cover of it right now.
Yeah, it's a
That's not some ring level horror.
It is.
What was this in the 90s?
Yeah, 97.
Absolutely some.
God, what were they on?
But it was. It's all Ken Penders. Who look up Ken Penders. He is out of his mind.
Oh dear God.
He like created all of these like characters for Sonic, and then like wanted to like own them, and it's like doing his own. He's doing his own thing now. It's so weird. Like look him up. It is like that. Like Sonic looked like he was like hurting that kid with his his hand.
I agree.
Like him to pull him into the TV.
That is.
And if you read the comic, they're not actually holding Sega controls. Like the kid has like a TV remote on the side, station. But yeah, it is. It's like you write the Sonic comics and you couldn't find you didn't have a Sega Genesis controller. What are you doing in 1997?
Yeah, traumatizing.
I guess like a Sega Saturn controller would have been fine still, but yeah, it was.
I think I need to find this comic for science.
Yeah, it is terrifying, and it makes very little sense because instead of Sonic, Sonic has to stop Dr. Robotnik. It's like, what are these kids going to do? It's like you're bringing like two liabilities into the mix.
And this plot of this comic made you want to write comics.
Not that specific comic, but I don't know what comic made me want to write, because I don't think there was ever like a comic. It was just like the medium that I was like, oh, I like it. I mean, there are comics that really inspire me to do it. Like, James Robinson's Starman run is one of my all-time favorites. That'll always be there. And I think that's like a master's class in writing, continuing superhero story with a beginning, middle, and end. And I think it should be required reading. Like if you're going to write a run on a comic that's a superhero thing, I think you need to read that.
Okay.
And it shows when people don't. But Astonishing X-Men from Whedon and Cassidy was one of the other things. Like that was one where I had a friend of mine, Jake, and when that came out, we'd go to the comic shop, we'd go back, we'd read it together, kind of thing. That's up there. Runaways, Brian K. Vaughan. I bought the first issue when that came out. Like I was like, ooh, this looks interesting, and picked that up. That was definitely up there for me. But you know, a lot of other stuff, a lot of, you know, more indie underground stuff at the same time. I've always just like history and like knowing things and where things came from. So like, you know, I also had to do things like pick up, you know, like A Contract with God, It Rhymes with Lust, stuff like that. You know, what was it? Stuck Rubber Baby is a big one for me from Howard Cruz. You know, Fun Home and Dykes to Watch Out For from Alison Bechdel. Those are certainly influences. I like a lot of different things, and this is true. Yeah, it's true with movies and music and stuff. I don't really care what the genre is or whatever. It's just got to be good.
Yeah, there's good things everywhere.
Yeah, I want to read the good stuff. I don't care if it's this thing or that thing, as long as it's good. Yeah, so like I always blank on their names, but there's this this French team that does. They did Beautiful Darkness and Satania. Those are two of my all-time favorite graphic novels. If people haven't checked those out, I'm a latecomer to Junji Ito, but I've been catching up on that. Like before that, my manga experience was really like I was really big into anime for a long time. I grew up like I used to get up early on school nights when I was in 5th grade, or school days rather, to watch Sailor Moon because they used to play that like at 6 in the morning.
So good.
Yeah, so I'd read all Sailor Moon and Akira and some other manga here and there, but I've been trying to catch up with some of that stuff. You know, anything like was, you know, like your Charles Burns's, your Daniel Klaus's, you know, I mean, you know, Black Hole, 8 Ball are phenomenal. Blankets, another good one. You know, Craig Thompson, just all that stuff. Zot, it's a big one. Epileptics, another great French graphic novel. David B. You know, that's another one. It's like it should be all these things. It's like they should be required reading. But I like a lot of, you know, stuff that's like it's not necessarily good, but it's interesting and it has a place in history, like Space Beaver.
Yeah,
I agree with that statement. I would say I'm very similar. I like to just read interesting things. They don't always have to be
absolutely. Like
sometimes I'm just in it for the uniqueness.
Yeah, you know, I also really liked, and I actually found not that long ago the giant, like, absolute deluxe edition of the Luna Brothers Sword, which has been out of print for like ever. But that one's great. That might be my favorite Luna Brothers book. A lot of people, I feel like they always go to like, was it Girls? But I really like Sword. It's really good. It's like just a straight up kind of action revenge book, and it's that's a really good one. Scott Pilgrim. I was excited for Scott Pilgrim when that was coming out. I started reading it before, like I think when Volume 5 came out, and then they announced the movie, and then Volume 6 and all that. Like,
I've never watched the movie. Michael Cera makes me uncomfortable.
It's okay. I think the movie is amazing, but
it's great.
Yeah. It's Chris Evans is just fantastic in that movie.
Yeah, there's so many. I've heard so many good things about it. I'm just like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah,
that man's face.
It's worth
it. No, it is. I mean, I'm also a huge like Arrested Development fan. I can quote that all day, every day.
Arrested Development because oh god, the dad. No, it's the guy from Ozark. Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman's in it, and I want to watch it for him, but then I'm like, but Michael Cera's in it.
But he's perfect.
I mean, it is peak awkward Michael Cera.
I just get such horrible secondhand embarrassment from his existence.
It's so good though.
Yeah, no, it really is. But
first 3 seasons. The rest is still good, but not quite the same.
Yeah, and then like, you know, speaking of, I get things every day. Just finally got this in the mail. You know, Invisible Men, the the trailblazing black artists of comic books.
Nice.
Awesome.
I've been meaning to get this for a bit. Yeah, I love that stuff. I'm a big fan of, you know, a lot of like some of that Golden Age work. Like I was saying, it rhymes with lust. With you know, I got my copy here of that, and it's you know, Matt Baker. His Phantom Lady stuff is like it's so good. You know, Phantom Lady 17 is the one with the cover where she's tied up and that they used in the like the Wortham hearings and all that. And it's such a, like, you look at the page layouts and they're like so ahead of their time. It's really something to look at that stuff. But yeah, so you know, I've read a few comics as well.
A few.
You know,
Learned a couple tricks along the way.
here and there, you know, sparkler. You know.
So the book you've got out right now is Becstar.
Yeah.
Mad Cave's putting that one out.
Yeah.
One of the copies there.
Thank you.
So tell everyone a little bit about Becstar and how that, you know, came to be story that you were writing.
Sure. Chris Sanchez actually originally reached out to me because he had liked She Said Destroy. And was like, oh, we should do like, you know, there's this like sci-fi idea, you know, we're kind of kicking around like a bare bones thing. We should talk about it. And we ended up doing that. And what ended up happening was we're trying to develop it. You know, the whole pandemic thing was like starting, and weren't sure exactly where things were going to go, but you know, Mark London reached out to me directly and was like, we're making this happen. And, awesome. You know, ended up pushing it forward, you know, talked to a few different artists and then landed on Lorenzo. Because I had a certain style in mind with, you know, that we were thinking of going with. And we ended up, you know, just agreeing on that. We found him because he was doing the platforms or the platform contests, that like anthology contest they do every like year or every half year or something like that.
Okay.
But because I knew one of my friends, Eric Palicki, who I edit the Deadbeats anthologies with, was one of the judges, and so we were talking about it. I was looking over it.
Wow.
And that guy, you know, Lorenzo, he eventually won as the artist on that story, but he had not won yet. He was just one of the finalists. And I sent that over to Mad Cave, and they also were like, "Yo, this is this guy." And I was like, "All right, yeah, if we're all in agreement." And that ended up working out. They also wanted to get a separate cover artist. Because Lorenzo is going to be also doing his own colors, and it was like, well, let's do the covers separately. And they sent me, you know, a short list. It was like maybe 2 or 3 names, and Sweeney Boo was on there. I'd worked with Sweeney Boo before I knew Sweeney Boo. It was like, let's ask her, and that worked out. And then I reached out to my letterer from She Said Destroy, Melanie Ujimori, and you know, asked her if she was interested, and she was like, I'm not really lettering right now. I don't know when the next time I'm going to letter, but you know, Jamette Gill is who I've been recommending, so we got her on it.
Nice,
awesome.
Yeah, but what it's actually about, it's Cowboy Bebop-y, like it turned out to be kind of like Indiana Jones in space as like an afterthought.
I like that.
I get the you can get that vibe right here from the cover too. Just missing like the hat.
Yeah, but because none of us pitched it like that or talked about it like that, and then after the fact we were like, oh yeah, other people started being like, oh, it's like Indiana Jones in space, and I'm like, yeah,
we got artifacts, we've got
yes, it is.
Bad guys chasing after the good guys.
Ragtag team of one competent person and 2 others.
It's ended up working out like that, but yeah, that's more or less what it is. It's excellent.
I've heard consistently good things about Cowboy Bebop.
Same.
Yeah, it's probably pretty good. I mean, they're doing the live action adaptation and all that
That's
stuff.
true.
So I would think, so.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not always. Sometimes,
Yeah. Sometimes live adaptations don't go so well.
It doesn't. I'm not saying that means it's automatically going to be a hit. I'm saying that the fact that they're doing that based on the success of the anime is the
I miss it.
True.
It's like we all remember what happened to Avatar, right?
Yeah, well, that they also didn't make it a live action show. It was a movie, and that's a whole other. There's a long history of doing that kind of stuff, which is like almost never works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You promiscuous time travel. But yeah, no, Cowboy Bebop's great. But yeah, it's when I was working on the scripts too, it was really important for me to really focus on the fact that this is a monthly comic, and that every story should feel like a complete story with a cliffhanger or a WTF moment at the end to make you buy the next one. So they're always in a different location in each issue. It's like we're going to this place and we're doing this thing and we're finishing it in one issue, and something's going to happen at the end where you're going to be like, oh.
Yeah.
So
it's going to make really good TV when that gets made.
Well, thank you. But yeah, that was really important to me because, and I don't mean this to insult any other, writers or people, especially if they're in the chat or watching this. But
you all suck.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, you know this. You read a lot of comics. I read a lot of comics. I'm sure a lot of the people in the chat read a lot of comics.
I say looking at a pile of comics.
This is the pile I haven't read this week.
There you go. But
we're not going to talk about mine.
This is the pile.
Yeah. But yeah, you end up reading a lot of comics where you're like, oh, this is like part 1 of 4, and it really feels like I read 1/4 of a story.
Yeah.
And that and sometimes it's less than that, and it's a real drag. And you're just like, did I just read like I felt like nothing, like not much happened, and it was really important for me for a lot to happen and to feel like you got a complete like this. Okay, they did this thing.
I've dropped books over that of reading them, and you're like, not worth it.
I don't even know what's going on here. Like the only time I like that is if they have built the world so well in that first issue that I don't even care that no action's taken place. I know it's coming. They did a great job establishing the world. But if the world's not established and there's no plot, it's like
I'll use one example, and I don't mind using this example because he's leaving and going to Substack, and I'm sure he's doing just fine. He'll cry all the way to the bank with this. But so Nick Spencer on Amazing Spider-Man, I keep dipping in and out, and I'll go in and I'll read it, and I'm just like, oh, it's Kindred, okay, and this is happening, and this, okay, and then I won't read, and then I'll go, and then
you didn't miss anything,
and then I dip back in for like Sinister War. I hadn't read like the last 15 or 20 issues or whatever, and I'm like, we are still on this.
I gave Spider-Man all of like 10 issues. I was like, no, I can't. No.
I defended the first part of the run for the longest time, and then the Kindred story just didn't end when it should have ended.
Yeah.
And I stopped reading Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of my favorite characters from Marvel. Oh, yeah. And I just like I can't read the rest of this. So I'm happy we're gonna get a new team soon, and I'm gonna check out what's happening there. I think Kelly Thompson's part of that team.
Oh,
it's nice. Kelly Thompson, Saladin Ahmed,
Ed been on Miles
Ed Brisson, I think. Yeah. No, Saladin's been on Miles. Yeah. So whatever this is, I'll give it a shot. And and again, it's one of those things. It's like it's not bad. It's just we're not going anywhere. And that's
not what it could be.
Slow progression.
Yeah, and slow burns work really great in a graphic novel. They're not good for monthly periodicals.
And that's what I tend to do is like I'll give a series like 2 to 3 issues, and if I'm like, I'll look at the trade and see when it comes out.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think a lot of people do that because you just can't. It's just
so much slow burn.
It's madness. It's like get to the point. To me, it signals that there's either not enough faith up above that there's more compelling ideas down the pipeline, or that the person who's working on the story is just like, I don't know what else to do, so I'm going to do this as long as possible, and maybe by the time I can't do it anymore, I'll have another idea. Like, that's how it comes off, whether that's actually the case or not.
That's true. So we're talking a little bit about world building. So when looking at Becstar, and building a sci-fi universe, I understand a little bit. Part like the bare bones was there. What other things did you have to think about to put into that world design that you might not put into a non-sci-fi story? Like, what other considerations did you have?
I mean, I wanted every planet or every locale to be completely different. So that was all in it. I wanted like the crystal jungle place. That was so I'm like, okay, we got to do this. For this and work on that. We got to, for the 3rd issue, we went to, this is more like an urban planet, set that up. The 4th issue, the locale, again, completely different from the previous ones. And that's a little inspired by, I don't want to give away too much, but it's a little inspired by John Pertwee's last Doctor Who serial, Planet of the Spiders, where part of him leaving the show is he demanded they do one episode that was just a chase scene. Okay. So it's not quite that in the same way. You'll get what it is when you get it, but it was very much like, I'm like, okay, I really want this like really action-packed issue where there's just a lot of kinetic movement and things going forward.
And that's what issue 4 is going to be?
Yeah. And then issue 5 is going to be the what's going, okay, that's I hope so. That's how I wrote it.
The intent.
It'd be nice.
Issue 3's cliffhanger, I guess. Don't want to spoil too much if anyone's not caught up, but that
big one.
That cliffhanger was great.
Thank you.
That was a wait. Hold on.
Yeah, that was me going. Excuse me.
That's different. Okay.
Yeah. I'm glad that's how it was, because that was the point of it for me. I was like, we need a cliffhanger here that's really going to be like, I need more information.
You want people to conspiracy theory between issues and just be like, this is what I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's also good that, both of us kind of do this. Issue 3 is sometimes the issue where we're like, do I want to keep reading? Has there been enough in the world? And that cliffhanger, I already loved it, but it kept me even more so. I was like, I gotta know what's coming next.
Yeah, well, thank you.
I
just, got to get my shop to actually somehow make Diamond give us the physical copy.
Online.
But, let me ask you, I feel like I've been hearing this problem with Diamonds for multiple publishers. It really seems like there's got to be stuff going on behind the scenes in terms of, cutting corners or whatever, prepping for Marvel vacating. It just makes sense that like, well, what are you going to do? It's like, oh, well, we're going to have to start trimming down and getting ready. So, that's the only thing that makes sense, because it's like,
well, then even with these things that they're doing too, like these 1 in 1,000 ratios and variants, and it's like, how hard is it making you to get everything else out because you have to print 1,000 copies of this book now to sell one of these?
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like everyone, like, and you see all the websites like you know, I love omnibuses. I own too many. I own like 50, but
no such thing.
Yeah, but I love to, like, you know, when one really catches my eye, I got to order it. And I'll usually go to places like either cheap graphic novels or in stock trades. And like, I got like the emails, you know, you get from like cheap graphic novels and stock trades. The past like month or so, there's been a lot of like, oh, we didn't get this in, or we didn't get our full order in, and all that kind of stuff.
One of my shops, straight up, Behemoth, 2 weeks behind. Every single issue. Always 2 weeks behind.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah. And I know recently there's just been delays on even getting deliveries. My shop got everything but one box this week. Like, weird things going on. It's just been like the last...
And they've been getting them late at my shop, too. Like, they're opening up late because they're getting the stuff so late that they can't start.
Yeah, that's been going on at Fourth World Comics on Long Island. 2 weeks in a row, they got stuff too late to open on time on Wednesday. I think Fantastic Comics out in Berkeley, they didn't get comics till Friday last week. Like that kind of stuff.
Well, and so I was going on vacation, and I was stopping at the shop, and I was like, yo, I got a fucking plane to catch. Like, open this door. Let me in.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, crap, we're so sorry.
And some friends that are a comic shop here, Aegis Comics in Alaska.
Oh, nice.
They've been having the same issues with the delays and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it kills me because, you know, I usually try to hit like one of my younger brothers is also really into comics. So like every couple weeks, you know, we'll hit up like like 2-3 shops and, you know, pick up some stuff from them. But so we've been seeing it a lot lately, you know, some stores, you know, it's like, oh, we're getting shorted this or that. I've been hearing constantly people getting shorted on orders for stuff. I've been getting that feedback from stuff like Becstar, from multiple people in shops, and saying that they got shorted. It's it's not conducive for growing the market is really where this goes. If you're already getting stores that are getting late shipments and are getting shorted orders, doesn't help.
Yeah. Somehow though, it seems like more people are reading comics now since the pandemic hit. And
I mean, I started reading them in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Literally how I was like, I'm bored. I need something to do.
Yeah, you know, I think the problem then becomes, you know, people are reading comics, but when that stuff happens, it still affects the shops because, you know, they're ordering online, they're, you know, they're getting stuff like Shonen Jump and things like that. So, you know, I do think there's somewhere in the middle. Like I read any kind of thing in comic format. It doesn't have to be big 2 floppies, obviously, but you know, there are people who get upset with these things being like, oh, you're talking about the comic industry being healthy, but you know, that's not working. Like that's not a healthy aspect of it. And then you get people who are overly hyping, like anytime there's any business going well, that are like, you know, stuff it, haters, we're all doing great and stuff. And that's also really silly because it's like, well, the last time I checked, you're really excited about this, but like it's not like a revenue share. It's not like we're all making money because, you know, Raina Telgemeier and Dave Pilkey and, you know, My Hero Academia and Junji Ito books and Demon Slayer are making money. Like, they're making money hand over fist. Like, but you know, you're still dealing with. It's like, it's going great, but you know, there are still issues, just like any other industry. I do think that people laser focus on things because, like, there's stagnant wages in comics. Absolutely. We're not the only business that is a factor in it. And I think too often people get trapped being like too cynical and acting like this is like a unique thing to comics. Same thing with some of the other negative things that happen in comics, but it's like, oh, you should go to a place where everyone just loves each other and treats each other right, like the gaming industry then. It's like everything going on with Blizzard and all that. So, it's like there's good and bad everywhere. There's good things and bad things, and I just wish that we were all like more level-headed and not either being like they're going to stop publishing comics tomorrow, or we're all billionaires. Like they're both wrong.
A little bit of middle ground somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe, perhaps. Maybe. So I am super curious about in Becstar, you have these 4 mystical items, and each of the main characters of the team kind of ends up with their own item. Yeah. And I was wondering, like, how did you decide who got what? And was it like specifically related to personalities and like, traits that they have that would be negatively affected by them, or?
Yeah, and I hinted that in the beginning of the first issue with Turlo and the clairvoyance rod, in that it kind of made him this paranoid recluse. So all of these things are exaggerations of either people's personalities or stuff like that, because ultimately what's going on with Becstar is, she's got this like lucky dagger, but it's kind of made her complacent because things are going to work out, and she kind of has Sally and dragging her along, and the only thing that motivated her was to like see her friend again. Like I think one thing that I've seen a couple of people out there like not quite get, so I might as well just say it since I'm the writer, that was the intention, is Becstar isn't out there to save the universe or stop the Shadow Syndicate. She just wants to see her friend. Yeah. And like the Shadow Syndicate's after her, but that's not, she'll stop things as they come in her way, but she's not interested in that. She just wants to see her friend again. And that's really where the story is, and it's all about what I'm trying to make relatable here, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, is as you get older, there are people who are like really important in your life when you were like a kid, maybe a teenager, maybe in college. And you're in your late 20s, 30s, 40s. They're not a part of your life anymore.
Yeah.
And there are people that can get like kind of lost in that nostalgia and wish they could reconnect or go back to those days, while you have some, and Sally represents this, is like that the person that's in your life now, who's there for you now.
Yeah.
And for Becstar, like that's not enough. And what's going on now is she is getting to a point where it's like, are you going to live in the past and try to recreate what you had, or are you going to acknowledge the people who are actually in your life now, putting in the effort now, who are there for you?
Yeah.
And like that's really the core of the story here.
100% get that.
100% feel that.
Yeah.
So when looking at your process for sitting down and writing, do you have any special routines or rituals, or is there any music that helps you focus?
No, there's nothing necessarily. It rotates. I'll listen to music. Lately it's been a lot of like vaporwave and hyperpunk, but there's been a lot of times where it's been like, I like a lot of post-punk. Like when I was writing She Said Destroy, it was a lot of post-punk. It was a lot of that was a lot of not just Joy Division, but Death in June, Chameleons, things like that. Script of the Bridge is just a fantastic album. There's some Bowie in there. Like the Thin White Duke era fit like what I was going for with that, but that kind of stuff. Oh, hello. But
sorry, she joins me. This is Mango.
Hi, Mango.
Sometimes she comes for sits.
But for this, it's been a lot of. I got into like 100 Gex and Glitch Gum and things like that last year. So
okay.
Yeah, it's been a lot of that.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, Vaporwave, things like Wolf Club. That's been something I've been going to because they just put out like the second half of an album that they had put out. Stuff like that, and then sometimes it'll go to like Carly Rae Jepsen and Charlie XCX and stuff like that.
You gotta have that Carly Rae Jepsen in your life.
Yeah, sometimes it'll go to I'll do a lot of like Morrissey, 9 Inch Nails is a big one for me. I've been a fan of them for a long time. Pixies, Breeders, things like that. Garbage is always good. But yeah, so it's kind of all over. The Interpol worked its way back into the rotation recently.
I haven't heard them in a while.
Right? I saw them open for the Pixies back in like 2005. It's but every once in a while, then I'll remember like another band or another thing, and be like, oh my god, I haven't listened to them in forever.
That's like exclusively how I listen to music, is I just like remember a band and then I just listen to them until I can't stand them anymore, and then I'm like, okay, another one.
Yeah, but because while I'm saying all that, I just remembered that Matt Pond, so I'm going to be like, I'm going to go back and listen to like several hours later and all that stuff. But because that's been a minute. But yeah, it's just and sometimes it'll be like soundtracks to things. Like when I saw this definitely came up with some of my stuff in the beginning of the year. Was so this worked its way into some of Becstar. Was Promising Young Woman. That soundtrack, I was all about it. So I definitely, it really is. So I'd spent a good amount of time, listening to that. But yeah, so those sort of things come in, or I at least need like white noise or something like that around. Like another thing I'll do if I'm not feeling like music, just have it on the background. I'll play a lot of. There are so many YouTube videos now that are like 4-hour chunk like uploads of like VHS recordings of like Saturday morning cartoons from the 90s.
Oh my god!
There we go.
That's
so
amazing.
I'll put that stuff on, like, and then every once in a while I'll remember something I completely forgot. Like I'm like, oh my god, what was it? It was like Sea Bear and Jamal.
That's from the 90s.
Totally forgot about Sea Bear and Jamal, and I remember watching that as a kid. I was like, oh my god, that show. It was great.
Every now and then you just trigger it on like a memory, and you're like, oh, that happened.
Oh, yeah. And just all the little ads and things like that. Or Dog City. Where it was like mostly the cartoon, but like there were the Jim Henson Muppets that would show up, or Cyber 9. People remember Cyber 9. Eric Luke was like the executive editor, or he might have been the executive producer on that. He wrote or co-wrote the original like Gargoyles miniseries.
Okay.
And he also had an incredible Wonder Woman run that everyone forgot about. He wrote Wonder Woman in between John Byrne and Phil Jimenez. And no one talks about it, and it's such a good run. I can't recommend that run enough. It's great.
Interesting.
Good to know.
They just kind of snuck it in there.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of good Wonder Woman runs. It's mostly because I feel like, and this is true, I think, with a lot of characters, is after a certain point, they all just started rehashing everything and kind of following what the other people were doing, and then and it's all just, but like, you know, there's some really good stuff out there. Although I also really like when she was depowered in the late 60s, early 70s, and it was Mike Sikowski was doing the art, and I think that run is really great, and people like refuse to read it because it got that reputation because of the a Gloria Steinem like essay on why it wasn't like feminist, and yeah, that was a whole thing.
I feel like the like super powered characters are always interesting when they don't have their powers, what they come up with to be able to still, you know, do the job and save people and all that. Like Superman's way overpowered, but his weaknesses are more interesting than just I'm Superman.
Superman's weak to magic, and people forget because he just doesn't really fight magical beings.
Yeah, but also there's a lot of really great pre-crisis Superman stories, and people act like DC in general seems to be like embarrassed about their pre-crisis stories, and a lot of them are really great. Some of the best.
Ivy came out pre-crisis.
Oh yeah, but like some of the best Batman I've ever read was like the 6 years before Crisis, when it was like Jerry Conway and Doug Mann writing it for like 6 years. First it was Jerry, and then Doug took the reins, and it's incredible. And they just aren't like those. The Jerry Conway stuff they only finally collected in the past few years in like hardcovers. But like it took forever, and it's like, guys, this is better than like so much of what's happened since Crisis, and like,
like whatever.
Yeah,
we don't like it.
It drives me nuts. A lot of it is because they keep creating derivative characters. And then they keep creating them, killing them off, and then bringing them back. So they keep doing things like, oh, we're going to create a new Robin, or we're going to kill the Robin off. But now new writers taking over and like that Robin, so they're bringing that Robin back.
Yeah, it's like, no, we just have a different Robin. Woo.
So now there's like 34 Robins or whatever. Yeah. But
of course.
Also, not for nothing, what the hell kid grows up and is like, I want to be a sidekick. I want to be Robin. It's like, no one wants to be Robin. You want to be Batman. What the hell are you? What are you doing?
And like, Batman could totally make Robin Batman. He just wants to be Batman himself.
Yeah, but like it's also weird because it's like
a grown man and a child.
Well, it's a grown man and a child, but it's also okay. You're supposed to be this loner without a family, and like it's a little sweeter when it's just like Alfred and Robin, because then it's like, oh, but he has his father and his son.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like this guy has a bigger family than anyone I know.
Yeah,
and it's like,
oh god, was that cover for 106? It was like a wraparound. It's got the
Bat
whole
family.
Bat family from the recent Batman. It's just like I don't even know who half these people are anymore.
Well, then there's like Harley was on that cover too, and it's like I don't.
She's now part of the Bat family.
It's a whole mess, and I hate it. But and I know there are certain people that, you know, it's like they get into Batman at a certain point or a certain character, and they fixate on certain characters. But and there are fans for them. At the same time, you can't function. It's like it gets to a point where it's like it is now impossible to write a good story, because it's like, how could any crime happen in Gotham? There's like dozens of Robins alone.
There's a network of vigilantes.
Yeah.
It's like
you can't seem to catch one man.
Yeah, it's like, why would you know? And then between that and then all the storylines, it's just like Bane took over the city. Joker took over the city.
Yeah.
Now someone else. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that, Taylor. That's very nice of you.
Exactly what we were talking about, Indiana Jones.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's great. So I don't envy that. that position though, because it's like, what do you do? These characters exist. You got to move them. It's a whole web. It's like there's not only what the writer wants to do. There's the editor you're working with. Then there's the group editor. Then there's the editor-in-chief. Then there's Warner Brother interests. So as much as I could like poke fun or be like, oh, this is silly, that's silly, it's such a convoluted thing that there's also like no one person or anything that you could even be like, oh, well.
Yeah.
Did that.
Like, there's so many people demanding things be done with these books that like.
Yeah. But the real question though is, why do we fall? There you go. But yeah, it's like no one would live there anymore. It's like
it would be a very cheap place to live because nobody would want to live there. Like, there would be millionaires living in that town.
Yeah. I mean,
Bruce Wayne wouldn't be living
your
there.
apartment is getting things thrown into it constantly. No.
Yeah. You're constantly getting people, murdered by Joker goons or whatever, and it's like, and it's always retconning things so that there's more of them, and it's just like, it's like, you guys already have a multiverse. Come on, like, now there's 3 Jokers. Are there 3 Jokers in every multiverse? Like, are we now at like over? And there's at least
probably
like
33 in one of them.
There's at least like 53 Earths. So is that, are we
3 Joker stories that are being published?
Yeah. So are we at like, are there like 159 Jokers in all the realities or something? Like, it's a lot. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. And maybe it's just me, but I think it's a lot of people who have lost their parents that haven't become vigilantes.
That is true.
The whole city is probably ripe to become a vigilante.
Yeah, it's like, it's like, it's kind of, what are you doing? And then poor Alfred's worried all the time.
He's getting his own book. Don't worry.
He's got his own show. I forgot that show was happening, and it like is going on now. Like it's on like season 2 or whatever.
What?
There's the Pennyworth.
Really? I've been living under a rock apparently.
Yeah, Pennyworth. I'm gonna Google it to make sure I'm not insane. But
there's a comic coming out next week about it.
I saw the comic, but yeah, American crime drama television series. Yeah. Series 2, 20 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, season 3 is apparently going to happen. Like, what?
I am not surprised at all. Literally at all.
Oh my god! I mean, I watched the first 2 seasons of the.
I guess people could interpret it wrong and think it's the It Clown.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, but like, yeah, I know people that were involved in Gotham, so I want to, I don't want to say anything too negative because they might be watching, but it
was different than the comics.
The problem. Some of the big problems I had were things like, so when Batman grows up, he beats up a bunch of geriatric people because
for funsies,
they're all like
age difference.
Yeah, the age difference. It's like they're all like 20 or so years older than him. So it's like you're all.
I just forget that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's like so adult. You're just beating up a bunch of old people, like AARP carrying people.
Batman doesn't use guns, but absolutely does throw people into walls and steel beams.
And it's like, are you telling me none of them like got bored and moved on to something else? It's very true.
Yeah, whoever is like in charge of continuity in DC, they got a tough job.
No, because there's like 18 books where like Batman's in it in some shape or form. Because you got your Batman, Next Batman, Detective Comics.
And so now with the movie universes too, they're like, oh well, these movies are in a different universe than the ones that are about to come out because we fucked up.
I can't keep track of those.
So now all the other movies are coming out in their own universe, and they're gonna recast like half them and make another universe.
So So one of the things I'm, thinking here is I think some of this multiverse stuff is eventually going to backfire.
Oh, absolutely.
I think Marvel's leaning too far into it. It's one thing to do these it's one thing when you do a movie and you recast someone.
I think it's going to turn off the casual viewer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my parents had to have me sit down and explain every episode of Loki to them, and they're like, "What do you know?" And I was like, "Well, nothing. That's the problem. We don't know what's going on now." I was like, "I don't know quantum physics. It's above my pay grade, Mama."
It's kind of like what's going on with actual comics and making them more and more convoluted, shrinking that big 2 audience. And it's like, why are you replicating that by doing this? Because it's like people are gonna tune out. A lot of people don't like that stuff because it's just silly, and it's like just an excuse. It's an excuse to let writers do whatever they want instead of telling a compelling story.
Because you can just write it off as a different world, a different.
Yeah. Universe. We can kill off whoever we want because if we decide that we want to backpedal, we'll just grab another Scarlet Witch. That's fine. We'll grab another, Black Widow. We'll grab another Vision.
Mm-hmm.
We'll grab another Iron Man. Whatever we want.
No, they will not. They will not.
They probably will.
But, yeah.
We have Riri, and that's all that we need.
Another Captain America,
So outside of your complete disdain for Batman, what books are you enjoying right now? What would you say are like your top 5?
I've spent an embarrassing amount of money on Batman-related things.
Aegis coming back, and I'm about to lose my life.
No, but God, what am I enjoying? Beta Ray Bill, that was fun. I liked how that wrapped up. I've been reading Made in Korea.
Yeah,
that's a book that, I know Jeremy, so I was going to keep picking it up. But after issue 2, I was like, something better start happening in issue 3, and I feel like maybe spread that out of it because, issue 3, everything happened.
Yeah.
And you're just like, all right, I'm going to keep buying it, but, you didn't have to do that. You could have. Yeah.
But it also makes me think, even more shit is about to happen in the next issue.
Right?
Oh, yeah. What Ultra Mega? Been enjoy. I know that's on hiatus till, next year or whatever, but.
Yeah.
That was good. I'm trying to keep up with, God, it's so many things.
All the books. Every time somebody asks me what I'm reading, my brain just goes, comics.
Yeah. Everything.
Too many. All the things.
I like the new Moon Knight #1.
Okay.
I like that. By the Horns.
Yes, love By the Horns.
Liking that. God, what the hell? Barbaric.
Yes, that axe is it's one of my favorite things in comics right now.
It was good. Haha, I enjoyed that. That was I think that issue 6 was the last one, but yeah, that was good.
Supposedly, Ice Cream Man is getting made into a series at Amazon.
Oh, it deserves it.
Supposedly.
I'm behind on Ice Cream Man. The last one I read of Ice Cream Man was the one with the hotline you had to call so the guy would live.
Oh yeah,
that's a really good issue. But yes, absolutely
crazy
with Made in Korea. Robin's been good. It's fun.
I've been hearing good things about that one.
It's I like it enough. I just I like it despite the premise because I hate the premise because it's just Mortal Kombat. But
I get that.
Yeah.
God, I'm trying to think because so much of it, from the big 2 and stuff like that, it's a lot of pass, but
yeah,
which is a shame, and I'll try some stuff out here and there, with Moon
I'm
Knight.
very picky with my superheroes.
Yeah, my Marvel pool is Champions, Daredevil, and Strange Academy now because Silk just ended.
Yeah.
And I guess Strange Academy's kind of
on hiatus.
Pausing with the death of Doctor Strange happening. There's like a special issue for that.
Yay, more events.
What was it? Daredevil's good. Spider Shadow. I like that.
I feel like I'm the only person reading Iron Man.
Yeah, full disclosure, I hated Iron Man.
No.
Like, deep to my core, I hated Iron Man. It's fine.
Till the day I die, I will get the Iron Man comics.
No, I love Iron Man as a character, which is why I hate this run right now. But
it's very not.
Yeah, it's a shame. I really want to like. This is one of the problems I think in discussing comics and all of that is. I think Christopher Cantwell is a fine person. I have no problems with it. I'm sure we love probably a lot of the same comics.
Iron Man.
But I hate every comic he writes. And it's like, hate's a strong word.
You just don't
hate Iron Man.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm on Blue Flame. It's not. I don't like. I can't hate it because I don't have a history with it. I just read it and I'm like, it's all right.
I think the psychological direction he seems to be putting on like the Blue Flame and
yeah.
I don't know if he's doing that with Iron Man because I haven't read it at all.
It's kind of a mess right now.
Yeah, and like I don't think I've liked.
There's a lot going on.
And like I haven't liked Captain America. Like, oh god, I haven't liked most of what they've done probably since like Remender.
Oh wow!
Like it's been a rough ride because then we got Spencer and oof, and we're still like in the shadow of Hydra Cap and Cosmic Cube Cap and stuff like that. So even the stuff going on now,
I read through that stuff, man.
Oh lordy.
Congrats.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh my god, what are you guys doing? And there are elements of X-Men I like. I can always find an X-Men book I enjoy because I love X-Men. But there's too many X books. But
yeah. I thought about reading X-Men. I looked at it all and went, nope, that's too much for me.
But that's the problem, is there's too much. But the main through line of what Hickman's doing is fine. Well,
they're endangered.
Extreme reaction.
It's extreme that they are endangered, but
endangered.
Don't punch the pandas,
they're not.
But that main through line for Hickman. So like House of X, Powers of 10.
The fact that they're doing a new X-Men event like every other month just makes
they need this, and things need to move. But the problem is, it's a lot of like we're in Krakoa and like nothing's happening. We're just like here, and then you do things where you make a big deal about going like colonizing the moon, and it's like not for nothing, but if this was like Earth here, gigantic deal that superhuman mutants have decided to create.
It's ours.
Yeah, but I'm like, colonizing the moon doesn't have the same impact in a universe where, Thanos snapped half of all life that exists.
It's like that hasn't happened yet. What?
Like it's like we're living in a Marvel universe where Galactus is a herald of like a galaxy eater or whatever, and it's like colonizing Mars is like it's not that big of a deal, guys. It's like
it'd be more shocking if they didn't like make it into a commodity.
It's like I'm not at this point yet, but I imagine it's like someone who's got like a good job, a spouse, kids, own their own house, and they have like their like a buddy that they still hang out with from college who's like, guys, I finally got an adult job. And you're just like, I guess that's cool,
sure,
but like, I don't, why, all right.
Yeah.
But like that's the equivalent to me. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing, guys? You're making a big deal out of like living on Mars. Come on. You can come on.
Should have happened by now.
Do a little better. But no, what was it? So I'll read Inferno, but they gotta stop with naming the events after old events that have nothing to do with the old events. Why? Why do they keep doing like
nostalgia?
Name recognition, nostalgia.
Trying to bring nostalgia.
But it's like it's not nostalgia if it has nothing to do with it. It's just the name.
Fair. They think
someone. Maybe you see the name and you go, "Oh, I remember that. I bet it's." And then you pick it up and you're like, "Oh God, this is not it."
But then it just causes their own market confusion.
Yeah. This is true.
When people are like, "Oh, X-Men Inferno, okay."
But that's like the whole Hellfire Gala. Like, not everything that was part of Hellfire Gala was labeled Hellfire Gala. Sometimes it was just like an issue of the X-Men series.
But but Ten of Swords, they had like which part, like number, I think was on each issue.
They just didn't do that for Hellfire Gala.
Yeah, which
not helpful.
I mean, with Inferno, I guess it's kind of like, all right, we say Secret Wars. Which Secret Wars are we talking about? Are we talking about 1? Are we talking about 2? Are we talking about
the TV shows being made?
Are we talking about? There was another one in there somewhere.
Yeah.
There's like completely different things going on too. Well, 1 and 2 are kind of similar, but crazy differences in those events. But they just like, we'll slap the name
the same thing.
Yeah, no, it's a lot to take. But
so what I'm getting from this is that Becstar is just going to be solidly issued out. No crazy ass events.
No .1s.
No hashtag number 0.
No, and I just got to say about .1s. Why would anyone name a comic a .1? Like, are you telling me that it's 1? It sounds like you're telling me I'm getting a 1/10 of a comic out of it.
It better be a 1/10 of the price.
It's
sometimes it's more.
But yeah, it's just confusing.
Yeah.
They start doing .1s and A's, and they start putting numbers and letters, and it's like,
no, that's when algebra started getting confusing.
But it's like if you have an issue and it's 72, and there's an issue after that, just make it issue 73.
Yeah,
like I'm with you.
Or if it's a separate storyline,
you could just make it issue 73. Story. Becstar, and then an undertitle over it, and then
this is true.
There. Batman, Fear State. Just make it fucking normal.
I mean,
not to come back at Nick Spencer's Spider-Man, but Lash Remains 52.lr, 53.lr.
And that was like right when I was trying to figure out if I wanted to read Spider-Man or not, and I was just like, I can't fucking keep track of this. What's going on?
My shop told me you could not subscribe to the LR issues. You had to individually request each one when they put it into their system. So Marvel did not make it easy for them.
Yeah, no, I don't get it. Just tell your story and just have them go up chronologically by one number each time. So
that would be helpful.
So what we take from this is you really like having your independent world that you can build and do your thing and number your way.
Yes.
And not be stuck with.
Don't expect you to be writing on Marvel anytime soon.
No, I mean, we'll see. Unless they listen to this and they're like, Joe, you got some great idea. We didn't think of not doing that.
We didn't think we could just write a consistent storyline.
Can we just keep the numbering going consecutively?
Well, I mean, even if there was a chance of something like that happening, it would be, a short in an anthology, a one shot. That's how these things go. It's not like anything where
they do writers real early in the series. I feel.
But it's I wouldn't say no, but I would understand what I'm getting into, and you can only put so much of certain things into it because they're not owned by you, and you just have to do the best job you can do. I think it's important.
You just complain the whole time.
Yeah, not to them.
Yeah. No.
Just quietly on the side.
Next time I'll have some like obscure character that I have like a one shot, and I'm going to be like in a t-shirt and a cap and just.
It's that one guy. What?
Oh yeah, no. I'm better with obscure DC characters. I think I have ideas for things like throw me on Shining Knight. Let's go. Like I could do that. I adore all of the insane random DC things like Phantom Lady. I would love Phantom Lady.
Okay.
She's wonderful.
Okay.
See, I don't know these obscure DC characters.
It's okay.
But you can write a story and bring them into the spotlight.
There you go. It's funny because her whole thing is she has a flashlight that it's like a reverse flashlight that eliminates light and makes it impossible for people to see, and then she beats them up. Oddly enough, not like just with the flashlight.
Aww.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Oh man. If you've still got time, we can keep talking. I know we're over the hour mark right now.
It'd stay on a little longer.
All right, so we'll head towards the end here with some of the questions.
Sure.
Head towards the light or the lack of light. So what else can you hint at with what's coming up with Becstar? I guess we kind of talked a little bit of that. Is there anything that you want to put out there to get people to hop on now and check out the end too?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a satisfying conclusion that we're building up to. It is, you're gonna get a more direct confrontation with Becstar and the Shadow Syndicate. It's coming up. Osgar isn't done with Becstar. Like there's a lot coming up in this next issue, and we'll see. Maybe we don't even address the cliffhanger from issue 3 and just go right into the next issue. Who knows? You have to buy it to find out.
I mean,
maybe that doesn't happen until issue 5.
Yeah, maybe
there's a second volume later on that'll address it.
Exactly. And this is a linear story. I'm not going to do that thing that some pretentious indie people will do where like then the next issue is like the flashback issue. Not doing that. We're just full steam ahead telling this story.
I'm still furious about issue 5 for the Joker series. I'm mad about it. Like beyond. I don't want to talk about it. So mad. So mad.
She's been talking about it for quite a while.
Complaining so hard.
Anytime,
so mad about that flashback.
Anytime you've seen it, you're just like, no.
I get
angry again. Instant anger.
I should have also said that I've been reading Nottingham because I have been.
Oh,
I don't know why I didn't say that.
Like literally right there.
Yes, that ended nicely and headed into that volume 2 of Nottingham, which will be excellent. I'm glad that they got the extension on that.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It's been fun and it looks great. It's just a nice book. It all just kind of came together there. It's nice that they kind of got that like lightning in a bottle, and David, I've gotten to talk with a couple of times before. He actually reached out to me, which was very nice of him. He's a really good guy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, what other projects do you have that you're working on that are coming up? Anything you want to plug?
Well, Deadbeats 2, London Calling, should be in previews now. We're wrapping that up, getting that to the printer. That was a lot of fun putting that anthology together. Got to work with a lot of people who've been meaning to work with I've wanted to work with, like Nancy Collins, Bill Lobes, Ron Mars, Jamal Igle. Jody Hauser. It's so got to work with a lot of people like that. Got to be the first published work of Quaid Reed. He's a great guy. He was a consultant for Jeremy Whitley on The Unstoppable Wasp.
Okay.
But he hasn't written or published comic yet. So this will be his first. Really happy about that.
That's a badass cover.
Yeah, that's volume 1, which I also edited. And then volume 2 is also available. They're both in previews. Yeah, there we go.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, Val Halverson from Finger Guns did the interstitials, which was a lot of fun. Lila Sturgis, got to work with her again, which was great. Shay Grayson, I was really happy to get to work with Shay Grayson. Melissa White. Is it Yona Harvey? I had meant to work with her for a bit. She had done Black Panther and the Crew, was the first Black woman to write Storm at Marvel. Got a chance to work with her, which is, again, great. Yeah. No. So yeah, we got to really do a lot with that. I'm trying to think. Yeah. My previous work, She Said Destroy and all that, is still available in trade. You can read the first issue of that on for free on Vault's website. I got to work on that with Liana Kangas. What was it? I edited Lost on Planet Earth, which was a Comixology Originals series that's in. Awesome. Nice.
Yeah. I got the. I think this was Saga Homage?
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The main cover on that first issue, we actually, Liana got a little assist just in the layout idea from Simon Bisley.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No, it was really great. But so that's free on Vault Comics website for the first issue. And I think you can get the digital trade from Vault for $9.99.
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, I've got Lost on Planet Earth. It should be available now through Dark Horse. I edited that. It's Max Saggio, Claudia Guerre. It was 5 issues on Comixology that have been collected.
Nice.
It's a full, complete story. Looking forward for people to get their hands on that. I am in Pat Shan's Destiny New York Volume 4. I have a short comic in that.
I love that.
Oh.
Yeah.
We both recently that we backed the Smokeweed See the Future and
Nice.
then Volume 5, I think.
We've actually had Pat on the show.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I love Pat. We've done Comics by Perch together a couple of times too. It was
nice.
Pat's great. What else? Yeah, and it was great to be involved in Destiny New York. I was really happy with the story I got to tell in Volume 4.
Awesome world he's built.
It really is. It's very fleshed out. Very.
It's very real life magical too. He made it fit very, very well.
Yeah, it's real life magical, and it's everyone's very distinct.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own voices. It's really good. It's wild to me that that's not a show.
God.
I don't know. That should be a CW show or something like that. Yeah, it feels like it would fit that kind of.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, you're right.
That level of drama that would fit CW, I think.
Yeah. So and it makes sense. He wrote a bunch of the Charmed comics and all that. So, what else? Yeah. So I got that. I have a short in the Yule anthology that was kickstarted earlier this year.
Okay.
So that was fun. I did a horror story about Saturnalia. So,
ooh.
Yeah.
I can take that.
Yeah, I am currently working on at least 2 unannounced comics. So hopefully at least one of them will be, I think both of them will be announced before the end of the year, but at least one of them should be, because I'm wrapping up the 4th issue of this one thing.
How many issues is it going to be total?
It's going to be 5 issues total.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'm really turning into the king of 5-issue miniseries.
I support it. It's a good length for a single story that you can potentially always come back to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. So I've got that stuff going on. I have another anthology that ended up getting like put on the back burner that I was editing because the pandemic and everything, but hopefully we'll be able to release that.
I feel like anthologies really too are like having a moment.
Yeah.
You had Ice Cream Man, you have Haha, we've got Silver Coin.
Yeah.
And they're all doing really well.
I love Silver Coin. I forgot to.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, no, I've been picking that up, and I'm really enjoying that one. It's an interesting hook with the rotating writers and the same artist each issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it still makes it feel like it's all in the same universe, for lack of a better term. Spatial awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just having that similar connected art across all of the stories.
And then every decade, year, whatever, gets a different writer. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of anthologies that I've ended up backing on Kickstarter that have been coming out recently too.
Yeah.
They're all over the place right now, which is good. It gets some new creators' names out there and everything.
Yes.
Absolutely. I always like taking them as a mix of giving people a shot and putting some like seasoned pros in there.
And there's a lot of unique stuff on Kickstarter too, like dangerously unique stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
a wallet feels it.
I had edited the Mine anthology to benefit Planned Parenthood, which was kickstarted in 2017, and we got an Eisner nomination and a Ringo Award for this one. So
wow,
this was a lot of
It's just a
fun.
badass shit with some boxing gloves.
This is a Sue Lee cover, and but we had we had Denny O'Neil in this. Rest in peace. But Neil Gaiman, Devin Grayson, Brian Azzarello, Cliff Chang.
Neil Gaiman?
Yeah, we had Neil Gaiman, and we got him to work with Mark Wheatley. Never got a chance to work with Mark Wheatley before, so we paired them together. We paired Louise Simonson and Tommy Lee Edwards together in this. They were both fans of each other and never worked together before. So, like that kind of Andy Nocenti. A lot. We really lucked out with this. We got a lot of really great Tony Fleeks of your Stray Dogs fame.
We've had him on here too.
Nice. Yeah, he's great. I've met him before. He's a really good guy. Michael Marici.
Instead of his dark, vicious tendencies to murder puppies. What?
Yeah. No, for sure. Paul Levitz, Gail Simone. Like it's got to
great group.
Have a nice group there. Yeah, so I'm very proud of that. But and I edited Oh Shit, It's Kim and Kim, which is volume 3 of that series. I don't know if that's still available or not. Black Mask trades are difficult to find sometimes.
Yes.
Their website does have it still, I believe. So I've come across it. I've looked at it and I've been like thinking about it. And actually, we came across a couple random single issues in Second and Charles.
Oh, nice.
Which was crazy because I never see Black Mask out in the wild in that kind of like a place. But somebody just must have brought a collection in and I've actually found quite a few Black Mask trades in the past few months or so. I picked up like the Wilds coming to me. A Ballistic, which I really like early Black Mask stuff. Obviously, I have all the Kim and Kim trades. Black. I got the hardcover of 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank. Oh.
I don't think people. I think I have it over here. Let me pull. I didn't know this like existed even. I think it's really hard to find. Like.
I didn't know it came in hardback.
I didn't either.
Wow.
Nice.
It's real.
Yeah, it is real.
I think
it's the actual
damn.
Yeah,
I think they're doing a hardcover for the God Killer series.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
You know, but
coming up.
But yeah, it's it's nice, finding some of those. It's been like, oh, awesome.
Every now and then you just like, oh yes, give me that.
Yeah, no, it's it's good stuff, and hopefully one day we'll get to do more Kim and Kim too. You never know, but
Fingers crossed.
yeah, I've been picking up Everfrost, which has been coming out in single issues.
Been loving that.
Liking that.
Yeah, another comic I'm reading.
Yeah.
It's The Good Asian. The Good Asian's another one I've been reading too. So
this is one I'm not into like the noir kind of storytelling as much. So
yeah,
this is one I actually passed on.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You're allowed to pass.
I read too many things already.
No, absolutely. I it's like that, and then like I try to go through comics from the week, and then I try to like bang out like an omnibus and a couple of trades and stuff, and it's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
So, any chance you're going to be at any cons if that happen this year?
I was planning on doing New York. We'll see. They just canceled the auto show later this month. Yeah, so
go to Baltimore.
Yeah, I want to go to Baltimore. I'm planning on going if it happens, because I have a friend right out there who I crash with, and if I went down to Baltimore, it's a quick trip. I might even like splurge and take the Amtrak, because it's a nice Amtrak ride.
Ooh. There we go.
But yeah, we'll see. I have no idea. That and Emerald City. I have family out in Seattle. I like going out there, but we'll see. Who knows? But I like going to cons. It's really sucked. This, but what I love more than anything is being alive.
Yes.
And
same. Being able to write comics for the cons.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I wish it would all just go away and we could go back to normal, and I could do cons and make money selling comics at shows, and that'd be a wonderful thing. So
we'll see what happens coming up. Hopefully good things happen and you get back to cons.
That would be great.
We were planning on Baltimore, so we're hoping Baltimore still happens.
Yes. Yeah, no, I really do hope so. It's a good show too. I really like that one. I have a lot of people I know. I like seeing there, like Richard Case and Mark Wheatley, Mark Hempel, people like that. Joe Staten usually does the show. The Simonsons are usually there.
Yeah, I think I saw them on the guest list.
Yeah, but I saw a bunch of people start canceling for MegaCon and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh god, here we go. It's
happening.
Hello. Hopping in right at the end. I think they were
just as we're getting ready to say goodbye.
But thanks
I
for.
don't want to keep you too much longer.
I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, thank you for coming on and talking with us, talking about Becstar, talking about all kinds of random things within comics. That was great conversation.
No problem. Comics they're all right.
We can always talk forever about comics.
Yeah, we really could. And thanks everyone who's been hanging out in the chat.
Yes, thanks everyone.
Yes.
And the support. I saw a lot of people in there that are reading Becstar, or maybe will be reading Becstar soon.
I appreciate that.
Great book.
Thank you.
Definitely recommend it if you aren't reading it. Go pick it up. Go to Mad Cave's website and buy it.
They have it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have it. All the issues. I'm gonna end up probably having to get issue 3 from there, and if my Diamond ever decides to send it to my shop, then I'll just have a second one.
There you go. Can't hurt.
Exactly. So with that, we'll wrap things up here tonight.
Bye, everyone.
And see you guys later.